The future is important.
From the African American perspective. So remember, we're starting at a time where here in the American South, public spaces were segregated. Oftentimes we think about water fountains, schools, libraries, but we don't really think about how segregation affected these recreational spaces. So here we had segregated beaches as well, and Bruce Beach was one of them.
We had heard about Bruce Beach, and there was this little oasis in the middle of downtown Pensacola, and so we just went down to see what was there, really. And very nice, wonderful to see a place like downtown Pensacola with a beach and with trees, and so it was exciting to see it for the first time.
So when the Gulf Power Foundation decided to provide a grant to the Francis M. Weston Audubon Society for their, Plants for Birds project, I needed to drive out there and see what it was about. I wanted to see firsthand.
We were able to muster 99 Francis M. Weston volunteers, not all members of Francis M. Weston, people from all walks of life, all races, all genders, all orientations. We didn't care as long as they were willing to dig holes in the ground and plant these native trees and plants. And they were motivated. 99 volunteers during COVID, all masked, all socially distanced, was an important event.
Well, we wanted to create an area that can show people in the community what coastal lowland vegetation type would look like. Well, I think Bruce Beach is marvelous from this standpoint that there are many different ecotypes there. You have the marsh, you have the beach, the sandy beach, you have the ocean, the water, you've got the woods. Ultimately you're going to have the woods. You've got that little Washerwoman Creek that goes down there with that marshland associated there. So we're going to get a large range of birds. I think, for example, we were down there yesterday, and in a matter of 3 hours we got over 30 species. And then we expect that the migratory birds will enjoy to have a stopover on the way as they go north and south from here.
I think it's a very symbiotic working relationship that makes the community better. I certainly appreciate what Audubon does, and certainly trying to create better habitat across our city and across our area. Our goal is to have it natural, and we want it to be natural. So I hadn't thought of all the things that the Audubon Society did, but once they explained that to me, it seemed like something that we ought to be doing as a city, and I told them they had my absolute commitment.
I think by teaching about the native habitat, about what that habitat's going to be used for, education, about the Bruce Beach history.
My parents are from here, and my dad's side of the family, and my grandfather's from Pensacola, so they're very familiar with Bruce Beach. As a family, it was our first time in November, but I remember my family brought me down here as a kid because they used to live down here in this area.
Bruce Beach is a sustainability project. It's important to us. It's a key part of our sustainability. Native trees and plants in general produce oxygen that feed back into the environment. They help filter the water system in our environment and hold the soil in place as well. So all of those things come together to support our environment. Ascend Performance Materials has been a long partner with the Francis M. Weston Audubon Society. We've had their presence at our sanctuary doing bird counts and various other projects.
Working with the Audubon Society, we knew immediately that our funds were going to have a tremendous impact on native and migratory bird species.
And so just seeing the history and just seeing how far we've come, and just to see where it could go to help out the community, with us and telling us, hey, this is something we gotta support, be willing to do to expose our own kids to it. Not just our kids, but ourselves too as well,
I thought it was good, and I think it's gonna turn out very good with all of the trees and plants you planted. It's gonna be a way for people to enjoy a bunch of nature and see different things.
We saw a lot of birds, and I think it's a good idea to plant the trees.
Yeah.
And also just taking the time out to enjoy nature. taking that time out to understand, about environmental issues, as well. So we're really thankful to the Francis M. Weston Society to open up those doors for our students. They have a lot of volunteer opportunities, but nothing like this.
Thank you to the Audubon Society and their volunteers. I think it was a great opportunity for us to show we can have wilderness in an urban setting, and we can do it the right way that produces for the right habitat.
I'm really supportive of the work of the Francis M. Weston Audubon Society, and I encourage them to do all they can to teach the public. So I would like to make sure that people's relationship with outside can be wider, have more understanding of the space that they're in, have the opportunity to just enjoy the beauty of things, and also just see God's wonders.